All right, right now I'm in the Valley of the Kings. And there's two really important tombs here that tell the story of the Book of the Gates. And that's Seti I and Thutmose III. Thutmose III is the most depiction of the Book of Gates. It's in a linear fashion, so it's easier to understand. But they're very heavily coveted because the Book of Gates is magic. The 12 Gates is different than the Duat because Ra, on his journey of the 12 hours of the night, is accompanied by two characters, Heka for magic and Sia, who's a guard. So this is really interesting because that doesn't happen in the Duat. So this is another indication that what's on the walls is magical spells to go through all these levels of darkness to then become eternal. They're not allowing guides in the tombs for this reason, because the spells could be detrimental, and they don't really want people to understand them. We are not at a point of evolution that we understand these spells and what they're used for. And the idea that anybody could gather these spells and use them for anything against another person or in this living life could be detrimental to our existence. The point of this story is to get to a point where you have collected the Eye of Ra. So let me back up. What does that mean? So in the Holy Book of the Sacred Cow, they explain that at one point there was the Eye of Ra. So I equate this to like the Big Bang, right? The beginning, the very beginning when everything was one and there was no chaos. And then all of a sudden his eye shatters and humanity rebels into these tiny little pieces. And Ra is very angry, so he sends his consort Hathor to inflict suffering upon this rebellion of humanity to be separated from him. This to me is a really great spiritual story and also kind of a greater understanding of this idea of the matrix, right? We've created this shattering, this distortion of our true existence. And the suffering is because of the separation. But now we've been separated for so long that we don't know how to bring the pieces together. So the sacred spells not only are fighting demons and making sure you pass through the next gate, but it's also explaining how to bring the pieces back to the Eye of Ra so that you can return back to eternity. So this is why it's very sacred, and to get in the wrong hands could be detrimental to our existence at this point in time.